Perceiving is Deceiving. This is a big, like, custom collab map for an open world puzzle game called Lingo with the theme Eyes Tell Lies. Now, the map is a lot of cursed eye content by many different creators. In fact, it has 31 individual creator rooms, plus 6 collab rooms, for example, this one. The previous collab had 12 creators working one after the other, but this one had its work basically in parallel, so there was less overhead. First of all, the map starts off with an amazing visual that I'm going to show my blind reaction to. 14 seconds to load the... Oh my gosh! Dude, Brent... You could do that, like, that's a super liminal meme. You could do that in Longo. Oh gosh, if this is gonna do... This looks so freaking good! Oh my gosh, okay, stairs? I haven't played that many of the things. Yeah, so, like, you start off here, and you're attracted to this, which looks like a normal, you know, passageway. And even bait you by saying, sign on my back. But when you get close enough, it turns into a flat image. It looks really cursed from the side as well, and you got a really stretched panel. Got one of these classic Longo teleports into this new area, you know. So we got some, you know, nice little mirages here, by the way. Some of these rooms definitely are very, very weird, including one where you can't go back out after leaving, and you don't even input any text on the panels. You just change the panel color from lime to red. And that's the whole thing. You have to find which of them are telling the truth or not. However, because it's my video, I want to show off the Souvey+My collaboration, which involves a really cursed rolling eyes mechanic that rotates blocks with eyes on them. But I can't talk about Souvey+My without first talking about Souvey's room, who is the person I collaborated with and have made an entire video on before. I also have my own entry here, but the building looks a bit cursed because Souvey said that the rooms were gonna have like side walls and be up against other people's rooms, and then it just wasn't. Now everyone can see this ugly nonsense. In that other video, I talked about the custom map Greenland by Souvey. So, well, okay. First of all, it's taking a bit of a while to load. Okay, anyway, just know that Souvey's submission to the collab is slightly derivative of Greenland's mechanics. There was also a bit of a meme of, like, if there's Greenland, where's Iceland? Which caused me to make a map called Iceland, like, a day later with, like, completely different mechanics, and also a very horrible filter that I had to beg the actual developer of Lingo to put this filter in the game, so everyone has this filter in their files even if they're not playing the map. Anyway, ever since Iceland, every single map that I've made has had a Greenland in it, even this one that I'm showing right now, because, like, Greenland is just such a good template file. Like, it's just so good. People constantly wonder how I make so many maps, but I mean, it's really easy. All you really need to do is use Greenland. I've used Greenland so much that Souvey now admits that Greenland is my property now. Okay, now that I've got that small background context, let's check out Souvey's room first with this very real loading screen. Welcome to Iceland. Anyway, I sure hope you watched the other Lingo videos. If not, you're going to get spoiled on how the game's mechanics work. But, oh well, look, basically every panel has rules depending on its color and position. So in this case, we have a co-battle top, as well as a brown bottom. And so things that are in the same column also have the same answer. So we're looking for something that changes one phoneme of Iceland. Technically this is a reverse panel, by the way, but that doesn't matter because this is a symmetrical operation to change one phoneme and what came after Greenland. Well, the answer is Iceland. Nice filter, huh? I hope you like it. Anyway, fun and totally random fact. Delete key equals unsolved panel. But why would you ever want to undo your hard work? Anyway, the reason you would want to get rid of that filter, by the way, is that there's some puzzles that involve, like, colored panels. And you're not going to be able to see what they really are with that filter on. Like, that looks bloody at this point. So anyway, you can clearly see the environment is a smaller version of Greenland's. And we have a bunch of panels here. Mostly empty, a lot of empty panels and, like, images. And also some nice rotating ones, some panels on trees as well. So, and also, we have some white bottoms in some parts of the map. A white bottom is the same meaning, in other words, a synonym. So that's just a small little detail that doesn't really matter at this point. The main important part is, what is the idea of the map? Well, so this is pink, clearly pink. And the freaking Z fighting against the text box and the... Anyway, so it's pink, and we got eyes everywhere. The length is also enough to fit pink eye, and that might get you an idea of what this is about, as this is all about eye puns. So we have red eye over here. This is a block that's full of hyper-realistic eyes, multiple of them. And the answer to this one is, well, maybe I should let it stew for a little bit more, but just keep in mind that there are some environmental differences in the panels that are that do indeed become relevant. So here we have an eye made full of these glass blocks. So glass eye and eyeglass. So all of these refer to like real terms that people would refer to eyes with. So here we have an eye only on the right side of the panel. The answer is side eye. Your head, and we have two eyes in the back of the block. So the answer is, like, this also, this used to be much more spaghetti and tested with 4 eyes here. But okay. It is eyes. Just look at like the length indicator here. Eyes on the back of your head. There you go. That might be a little difficult. I don't know. Also, we got a nice reference to Fun Happy Bubblegum Land right here. And an eye right there. Lies. Sucker. Like, this, like, Souvey+My knows how to make these amazing puns, like sucking on a lollipop at this point. Okay, but, so what is this? It's 3, which is going to be I, most likely, and then 5. So, the answer is eye candy. Here we go. We also have youth in a high position, by the way, equal to put down, and eyes are enclosing youth. Well. Okay, well, I'm going to look at these first, because I think they're actually going to be easier. So we have both of these rotating, and that one is like a red thing over it. And it is a synonym of ignoring. The indicator is like a bunch of stuff, 1, 5, 3. Unfortunately, like, going into solve mode does not pause the block. But the answer to this one is, I'll wait until it shows up. It's turning a blind eye. There we go. And now, this eye is rotating repeatedly. There's no X on this one. This one is eye rolling. And there we go. And we also have these pulls on trees again. So you can see the length indicator. There's 5 words for 5 letters, which is a little suspicious, of course. The answer to this one is Ni4Ni. Pronouncing each letter one by one. Ni4Ni. And we also have Ci2I. So, like, it basically solves itself, but it's nice to see the numbers and letters in the clue. And now we have I. The answer to this one is 4 eyes. And you might notice there's something a little different about this one compared to pretty much all the rest of the puzzles that we solved use this color. So it says 4 eyes, but there's no actual, eye picture. In fact, it's just the letter I, which is not actually equal to the word I, except in a phonetic context. So with that information in mind, oh, I didn't do this one. So this one is not yellow eye. The answer is, we can also like use a little bit of a cheat to see the first letter. It's golden eye. And now here, again, like environmentally, this is relevant. The answer is real eyes. Real eyes. But it is also like a sound pun. So, we have some eyes on the, like, below this thing. It says easy. So, eyes is the 4-letter word here. The answer is easy on the eyes. And again, it is a literal pun as to what is happening. Here we have a maybe familiar setup, like there's multiple eyes, but they're on the top instead of the bottom. So we have the prize, and the answer is, well, you see a little hint here is the prize makes up the entire bottom row. So and we have eyes, so eyes on the prize. In this puzzle, we have a bunch of eyes, and there is a white bottom, which means that it has the same meaning as the synonym of the word charge. So yeah, and that's what it looks like. So it's fun because charge has multiple synonyms and meanings. I remember thinking of it in the order like, was it charging up an attack? Is it charging money? Or is it charging electricity? Well, I eventually like immediately saw it basically when I got to the charging electricity part, because the answer is eye on eyes. Ionize. It's such a good puzzle. Here we have youth, which is a synonym of put down. The answer, well, as long as you're not getting like slidey butt stares right there, the answer is youth. Like just describe it literally. Youth in eyes. There you go. We also have this one. It's a pretty normal one. The first three characters, it's a 3 and a 6, so it's pretty obvious it's the first 3 are I, but the answer is... Okay, you know what it is. It's eyeshadow, but it's nice to see that there. And my favorite puzzle in this set, honestly. Like, it's so good. Like, it's even better than the previous Ionized one. So, we have Amethyst. This is a color you haven't seen. This is a Lingo level 2 color. However, it's probably a little obvious, like, what it's implying, because you can see the edges of this. Like, the eye is, like, inside this, for whatever reason. And it says Mond, Emerald, Amethyst. So, I'm gonna say it. I think it's pretty obvious, though. It's, like, gemstones and such. So, however, like, the answer shows either 5 or 3. And it's next to these puzzles. May and June, May and June. And that one is, this one's 4 letters, this one is 6 letters. So this color means a part of May and June, while this color is the bottom brown we've seen before, which means that it is after May and June. Chess battle, advanced chess battle. Okay, the answer is, for May and June, like, what comes after May and June? It's July. But do you know why it's July? The pun here is, these are jewels, and the answer is jewel eye. Jewel eye. So there you go. And for this one, May and June, what could this be? Well, this time we're using the opposite one. So this one is jewel, or the 3. What's the 3-letter word? It's gem. So, gem, May and June. And even if you don't, like, actually, like, recall this by heart, like, gem is actually enough of a hint of a 6-letter word. The answer is Gemini, because this solves to gem in eye. In my opinion, it's like always incredible and amazing when like you have the same clue, like words, but like arranged differently. So like with different colors, it just seems so elegant. Like there's this connection between May and June that like you would never be able to see except in this context of the game. Anyway, we only have a few puzzles left. Now we need to go here. We have 4 puzzles left. So, author Souvey+My probably. So we have this, as well as, like, you know, okay. So, SLER, lie. So this is actually, we're looking for here. It's very similar to a white bottom in some ways. Like, you're looking for a word that's kind of a synonym to lie. And for this one, we just got lies. And this is, okay, the question this puzzle is asking is, what makes the sound of the clue word? What makes the sound lies? Well, remember the start of the video? The theme, eyes tell lies. So the answer is the eyes. So, I wonder what this is. It's inside the house, but there's like a better word for this. It is a positional pun. And if you look, the first letter is U. The answer is, it's like a real word. It means it's under lies, because it's under that text called lies. We have SLER, which is like a lie-ish. And this actually keeps like a lot of letters from here, because the answer is and ER. SL and ER, slander. And for the last step, we are going to need to do the Iceland puzzle. You know, because we can. Well, because we have to. And the end. So, this is not a co-battle. It's a bloop. You add letters to it. Although, there's so many in this word that the end is really not enough information. But luckily, we have the eyes and slander as things that are piped into this clue. So, the eyes slander. The Icelander. There we go. It's like Icelandic, but not. So that was a great exploration of all of the eye puns and a lot of meme references to me and Souvey+My's maps. So let's go to my map, which is also called Iceland, and it looks a lot more cursed. And of course, I stole Greenland. So this effect has also prompted the actual creator of Lingo to ask if I made a flashlight. And then Chris Souvey+My acting like, what's the flashlight? I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, chess battle advanced. We also have chess fight improved, which is a really good use of the 25 puzzle count that every map maker was limited to. Also, why was that one blue? I thought blue was adding letters. So this puzzle contains both a red middle and a blue bottom. It's human-like, and we need some letters from human-like, but also add to a brain, or something that is bigger than a brain as well, conceptually. Well, the answer is human, and you can see that this uses not panel signs. It uses proxy panels, which is a different kind of panel that people don't really know how to use, but it's so much better because when you do one panel, it solves the others, and, it doesn't imply some sort of difference between this just because it's uninteractable. So here we have a red top and a red middle, so we're removing sounds off panel signs and removing letters from painting. Let's have this one. Let's not talk about that one. I mean, it's so easy that you can solve it just by typing pan, which is the first 3 letters of panel signs, and all of those will now be solved. I mean, the puzzles sure seem normal so far, with absolutely no hidden rule trickery. Anyway, so now we have ice height, a classic one, but if the answer is only 5 long, it doesn't really seem to work with blue's rule at all. There's also another one where the word impossible is longer than the answer. Now, you might be noticing this little split here. That's actually a vanilla mechanic that I first came up with independently, and then it got put in the game. Anyway, so yes, the white on this side just means that we are just keeping the left side the same, but something is being changed on the right. So I don't quite recommend solving these two quite yet, but they are definitely interesting, and they play with the theme. You can see some very real math here. 1 plus 6 is 6 plus 11. 1 plus 1 equals 3. Well, lol, anything I want. Okay, anyway, so help. The purple answer has not a trace of scribe in the word. The purple's answer's first 3 letters, black middle bus. The purple answer ends in 25 puzzles. The purple answer is 14 words, plus or minus 2. The purple has the answer. The purple sound is the answer to I to live sleep. I'm gonna give some time to stew over this nonsense. Okay, so first of all, you can see the eyes. The things that are in between the eyes do not count because they're not true. So if you have this 1 plus 6 is 6 plus 11. And also, you'll notice that the eyes can only see past the eyebrow. So this is actually saying 1 plus 6 equals 7, as that eyebrow is in effect removing those, making just, it says 7. Now with this, the first 3 letters are black middle bus, and there's actually nothing that is wrong with this. It's actually just starting with bus, but it is black middle, so it's reversed. So B-U-S. Now the purple answer is not a trace of scribe in the word, but that's not actually true. I mean, the eyes are pointing towards and sandwich that's not a trace of. So in fact, sub is the first 3 letters, scribe is in the word. It has the sound to I. Ignore the middle, sleep, and it ends in puzzles. Chess battle advanced. Fuck! Alright, anyway. So this unlocks. Oh, look at that. There's eyes on the boxes. So we're looking for an antonym of reverse meaning of closet. Oh, not actually. So it's obviously on the T, so it's an opposite of close, and that's open. So now we have another closet, but seems like there's nothing here, huh? I wonder what this one could be. What is the opposite of a closet? Test battle advanced. So they're looking from the top instead now. So we're getting rid of the C and the T, the opposite of lose, because C and T are being seen by the eyes. So the opposite of lose is win. And these are some nice pre-solved panels. So this is a blue bottom this time. So we're adding conceptually to this word. Anyway, the answer is, well, it's a math-related word, which is real. It rhymes bet leery. It has the word the, but it's not actually conceptually divisible by 11 because the walls are eyes and the eyebrows have been established to be the thing that, like, is the area where if you're looking past the eyebrows, then the text doesn't matter. So it's not conceptually divisible by 11, that's just the troll. And this eye is looking this way and getting rid of CLO. So we're getting set, and set leer, it's set theory. So now we have IC down, right, and here it's obviously up. Anywho, got some more letters here. And more curseness. Wow. See, a great way to go against the 25 panel limit is just to have already pre-solved panels in there. A white top is supposed to have the same pronunciation, but that does not seem to be the case with iconic and intermediate. Here's a hint about it. The text between the eyes are removed. The text between the eyes are removed. The text between the eyes are removed. So when you look at this, iconic, and then ignore everything between the eyes, you get just C, which is pronounced like C. And of course, the same thing goes true for intermediate, which just goes to 8, which is pronounced like 8. Now this one is a black bottom, but note that's also double wide, and that's like a hint as to like the answer being 2 words as well. Anyway, if you look at the, if you get rid of the eyes from internationally, you get on ally, and the two parts of on ally are, like, reversing both of them. You get the opposite of on, disabled, and ally, opposite of ally is opponent. So I can do the rest, like the opposite of, well, this is a black middle this time, so we get no from reversing on. You ignore the eyes and everything in between. So you reverse TRAD, no dart. This has multiple ways to go about it. I mean, we have ignited, emancipated, and maintenance line. So if you remove everything between here, you get M-A-N-E. And to say yellow top, you rearrange the sounds. So main, rearrange the sounds of ain, you get aim, name. This is definitely a puzzle with a lot of clues on top of, like, ignited also works, and emancipated, which I really like that it works, because the red is not in the most intuitive place, even though it makes full sense. Divisibilities, which is a spaghetti fest of eyes. Let's just spaghettify this. So I, get rid of that. Yes, I'm doing this in an image editor instead. Get spaghetti. So ITI. So we get DSLES. Now, this is a middle purple on the left side of the word. So the D is the only thing getting affected by the middle purple, which is to replace a letter. This is actually something you could brute force in-game by just looking at the last few letters and then choosing, like, what's the first letter. But the word is aisles. So now we have picnic rinsing, pivoting, incoherent, another incoherent. Hope by now we can just, like, intuitively do this without me having to do another visual. So look, P, C, R, N, G. So these are both. This is a double wide bottom white. So PCRNG. You also can't see it very well, but there is a very long length indicator. So PC. It's Personal Computer Random Number Generator. I'm sure you have one of those. Anyway, pivoting. Get rid of the stuff between the eyes, you get PNG. If so, that is an image. There's a super type. And now, there's an eye here, but there is no corresponding other eye. We've actually, like, I've seen people get stuck on this, but we have several examples of an eye without another corresponding eye. And in fact, back up there, we've also had a bunch of eyes without a corresponding eye, so you get rid of the eye and everything past it. So, the meme here is, there's just, after you delete the whole thing, there is nothing left. And what's the opposite of nothing? This is black bottom. Everything. And there we go. Also, oh shoot, I need to do the checker stuff, huh? Which I probably haven't done a video on yet. So, Lingo has a lot of colors, obviously, but there was a rule in this jam. You can use custom mechanics in your collab entry in the map without tutorializing if they've been included in 3 different creators' maps. One of them, which is allowed, was the black X checkerboard. So if you have black checkerboard with another color, it's like a reverse of that color, usually. Now, the white-blue checkerboard, which I made, by the way, is allowed in here, thanks to its own merits, but some of the other blue color checkerboards were not. But thanks to the loophole, where Souvey+My said that black and other color checkers were allowed, we have the blue-black checkerboard, which does not work as a reverse of blue. But because of this phrasing, I got this in a loophole anyway. So maybe I should actually do this puzzle. So this is blue middle, you add letters to 2, and here's the enumeration. And on the other side, we have blue plus white face, checkerboarded. So, you've seen many instances of blue, and you've seen many instances of white, and their themes. Blue's theme is add, white's theme is same. So the function of blue plus white is to add the same thing onto it. This is a bottom as well, so we're adding the same thing conceptually. So it is like doubling, almost. It's actually, like, one thing I love about Lingo is the heteronym nonsense, but that doesn't apply right now. So the answer, this is face, add another face, and also, again, you add letters to 2. So the answer is 2 face. Now, note that they share the same answer despite being on opposite walls because of the column rule. The column rule also works this way in the main game. But yeah, there it is. And now we also have this one, pipes. Wow. Now, this is also another blue plus white, but it is a blue plus white top, which means you add the same phonetically. Remember the rule about deleting the things after and including the eyes, so given that this is just P, you're adding the exact same sound to P that P is. The answer is... Anyway, so... Now the final puzzle in the map are cut and depth. Both bottom browns, so cut and depth. And you have no idea what the length is. So, wonder what those are. There sure could be a lot of things after a cut, and a lot of things after a death. Well, this is honestly the joke that this... I've built this room starting with this joke, and everything around it, because I'm going to explain right now why these puzzles are more clued than it might initially seem, this is another kind of informational troll, but... Okay, so, you see these. Remember these? If you don't remember those, I'm going to take a little trip back to the start of the area. Because these are the other sides of these, you know? And okay, now you can solve it. Yep. So, again, column rule, so they share the same answers, and therefore you get to see the length of them. And you get to see, like, what these are middle blues of as well. So you get rid of the I stuff, and you just get BLE, and you have to add to BLE. Only on the right side as well. That's also an important thing because of the white and blue. After you get rid of the I stuff, it means you add to the right side. And here, ice height, you're adding into the middle after removing the stuff in between. So you need to look at something you can put in between GHT. That is also something that happens after death. So the answer is ghosts. And as for cut, which was again BLE, and you add something, this is bleeding. After that, we come back to the other side and also do the same things here, which pulls down all the walls, and the last panel is outdoors, where eyes tell truth. Sighted, sighted, sighted. So we have like a black bottom, a white top, and a red middle all at once in this 3x3 puzzle. So there is some trolling going on. Of course there is. I mean, first of all, achievement names in the game always have the starting with it as like a very common thing. And a red middle and removing letters does not quite work here. So that's already something a little bit cursed. But that's the explanation why. Also, this means the pronunciation is not exact. So we have some yellow here showing that, oh yeah, you do scramble the HTE. So and the opposite of sighted is, it's blind. The blind, and then something that sounds like sighted, not completely, but the blind side. So I'm very proud of this final achievement panel, and yeah, that is my room and my contribution to Receiving's Deceiving. Except then we had an extra week to do a collab map. And of course, I wanted to collab with Souvey+My right there. Unfortunately, Souvey having an unpronounceable last name means that Souvey+ is also unpronounceable. So I'm very sorry that Souvey+ is like this. So you vike. Zoviki. Alvius. Anyway, let's get started. So first of all, this, like, unbelievably is the same size as, like, the other rooms. It had the same, like, restrictions as the other rooms, despite it being a collab, and therefore there was, like, much more opportunity for puzzles. But this really, really uses its available space very well. So here, we have a red middle and a white bottom, remove letters, same meaning as Sia, except hell. Removing letters from hell to create a 5-letter word is not possible. So... There's already a bit of trolling there, and if you go around, you can see glass, and glass, this is a lime bottom. Now, lime is a level 2 color again. We're doing a black middle and a lime bottom, although the lime bottom is really not very relevant here. This is actually like a reference to Solvay's glass eye and eyeglass. You can see, like, it's interesting because a glass eye is a type of eye, but also eyeglass is a type of glass. So it works in both directions, and that's actually really relevant for this one. So anyway, this is actually solvable. But look at what happened there. Doing that has turned this into a blue and a black. But before doing that, let's just take a look at this one right here. Slip up. It is a mid-white. Of course, that means take the same thing, but it doesn't work because it also needs to be a blue bottom of eyes. And adding something to eyes to make a slip up is not really a real thing. You don't need eyes for a slip up. But anyway, let's solve this one as well. Blue middle, black bottom. This is a pretty obvious one. The opposite of Sia is also hello. And that's flipped both sides. The eyes have come out from both sides, and you see that eye also works in this sense. Magenta and lime are opposites. So, yeah, and it works as a middle white as well, because, you know, it's keeping the same word. And now this is switched to a black and a red. So what's part of eyes and what is backwards slip up? It's pupils. Okay, so that is the idea. So this shows like every color switch that you can do here, and it's just awesome. Now, another really, really cool thing is the way that the filter, this very specific filter, you can see that it's also transforming the background. It converts colors in a very specific way, where blue inverts to red, and magenta inverts to lime, and black inverts to white. So those are actually also the mechanical opposites of themselves, right? So it's very satisfyingly consistent. And now we have this room where we can press R to roll the eyes. Yes. And so, okay, that one's clearly not a red. It has to be rolled into a blue, which is adding letters. And we also have eye roller, so we're adding sounds to eye roller. So let's do it. High roller. It's pretty clear. Okay, which is also replace this panel, which used to be white, and now, but because eye is looking at it, it's opposite. And, well, it doesn't matter in this case because rotator is a palindrome. But it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? It's because rot. So this is a top red. Red tops are about removing sounds, and clearly rot is not... You can't remove sounds from rot to get rotator. You need to rotate this turning into a blue top that adds sounds. So now we can just spell rotator, right? Yeah, so everything has just gotten unsolved. Let's look at that again. High roller, which points to these panels and turns them into the colors that are needed. Now, when I solve this, though, the eyes are looking from here to here. So this time I'll do this, but, like, looking at this panel. So notice how that changed to a red middle, and therefore was invalid, which shut off this panel, and now the eyes stopped because it was invalid, and now that shut off the other one. So we can have chains of unsolving, which is absolutely ridiculous and amazing. So to do this one properly, we're gonna have to rotate these ones away, and then solve this one, high roller. And now when I do this puzzle, those aren't getting in the way of anything, they're just gonna hit the wall. And that opens this for real. Now we have a set of four, like, this is four-sided, and we have note, pitch. So, let's just start with this one. This is a black top, so we're reversing the sounds of note, and it's a synonym of pitch. Note, tone. So that is the sound reversal of note, and is also a synonym of pitch. Let's go on this side. Now we're looking for something that is the same sound as dice, and is a conceptual addition to die. So it's not die in the sense of dying, it's just, it's multiple, like, what, just add to, okay, it's the most obvious one. Like, I guess die could be part of a board game, and the answer could be board game if it was just this, but no. It's dice, and it's the same pronunciation, and dice is a perfectly valid same pronunciation, even though it is the same word. Okay, right next to it, we have a red top, remove sounds from erect to create a synonym of demolish. So, erect, the answer is wrecked. And it's also nice because it is longer than the initial word. It's just, like, funny when you have a sound removal create more letters. But yes, and the final one in this is knee and eye. So the answer, like, you add sounds to knee, but also it is a part of an eye. This one I do not personally think is that tough, but it's a little unknown of a word, I guess, but not really. The trick maybe is that the knee is in the center of the sound. The first letter is C, by the way. So the answer is cornea. So some things got unsolved there, as you can hear by the sounds. And in fact, like, this one is part of the panels that got unsolved because this has become a red top and this has become a blue bottom. And basically everything has got unsolved because of a change in one of the eye rolls. Like, now this is a red, and, like, you have these that are, like, this one specifically is firing 3 eyes. This one is also firing 3 filter eyes with 1 blank side, which can be normal. So all of a sudden there's, like, the second layer to the puzzle where to go and solve these again, you'll have to take these into account and arrange them into a position where they'll provide good and valid answers. Now, I imagine this one is especially difficult to try to show off on this freaking video. Like, you really would want to experiment with this yourself as the optimal way to solve the puzzle. And I know there's a lot of freaking clowns that watch without playing. So I'm so tempted to leave this puzzle as just like, oh, you gotta play it yourself to figure out these. I really am. But I'm gonna explain this one, I guess. So notice that this is, there's only 1 blank on this rotation. And so it's either that this is blank or it has the eye on it. But notice that red knee, like, how do you even get a 6-letter word out of removing sounds from knee? Knee is already just N and E. There's like only 2 sounds there. So there's no way that's red. Therefore, this is the blank space here. And it's just the top blue. Now let's try to figure out which one of the bottoms is the right one. So, well, first of all, it would actually be good to try to solve what we can, because since we have the top, like, guaranteed that the top is correct now, we can check some of these. So note, that must have the same pronunciation as note, and it's not note. However, do note that the bottom pitch, what's the opposite of pitch? I don't really see that makes a lot of sense there. So let's rotate it so we have this one, and then now that works. Note, note, I mean, it's the same pronunciation as note, which is the same thing, and it's a synonym of pitch, which is a note. So that, like, locks in the positions of what these have to be. Like, and now we have the opposite of dice, sound-wise, and then removing constituents from die. So, dice, ice. Reversed it, it's side, side, side. And this is correct too, like a part of the die, of a die is a side. Like a die has 6 sides. Alright, now on over here, we have a blue top with a black bottom. Because again, it's been changed. So erect, now we're adding sounds to erect to get the opposite of demolished. So erect. Well, erect, as you know, what the word erect means is it's like to build a building is to erect a building. So, and then we have demolished with the ed suffix. So it's like it's the past tense of erect, which makes it very easy. Erected. It's also so good, by the way, that like they've never changed their length indicators at all, and it works on multiple levels. Souvey+My did such a good job by making this puzzle in such a quick time. Like with this entire area, this collab room had to be in a week. So yeah, and we have knee and I, the last one here. Blue top of knee, so we're adding sounds to knee again, but this time we are adding to the concept of an eye. Now, this, I of course, it was Souvey+Mai's puzzle, and I didn't get it for a while. It's cursed because it's actually a puzzle used effectively in Lingo level 1, but it's just, the meaning of I here is not the usual one. It's, so, the answer, I'm gonna say it now, it starts with knee, and actually that's like a huge hint. Knee, dull. So, like, yes, a needle has an eye, but it's clearly not like the expected like human eye or animal eye use of it. Anyway, so here we have Mo's, which actually uses the first letter, an N, but it's very cursed because, like, it's, once again, you can't remove letters to get a longer word. So the meme here, notice that the roll eyes comes up. And you can rotate it into being, like, now we're typing the clue, and show is the answer. So we get N, and you have to do this awful thing. Like, okay, so you know there's an N and the word is show, but you can't just type shown because the thing goes in backwards. So you have to type shown in reverse. I'm using no, and not only that, that's not even enough because you get shommed. So you have to type in, oh gosh, you have to type, instead of W, you type in M to make that work. And that's how you get it. It's so awful and terrible to type, but it's so good. You have to type NMOHS to type that. Anyway, so the other puzzle here is this rotating thing, the alpha. And of course, it's the same kind of thing. It's the red middle. So you're going to have to wait until this goes here and you can solve it. But then it unsolves itself after the filter goes away, after the eye stops looking at it. So, we also have this roll eyes here. And you can see that it's an O. I mean, the O is clearly part of the alphabet, so that just works out. But you have to see that the I has to be facing towards the panel. So now, like, again, remember that when you solve a panel, all the eyes that are connected to that panel light up and activate. So now we do the alphabet. And because this eye was facing the top block, it's able to turn blue, and now it's just permanently blue without having to rely on that one. So it's like a permanently on bootstrap thing. So what now? Well, you can't... Most of these doors are closed, but we do have an eye we can roll, which is connected to the door, so that's how you get rid of it. And here we have the beautiful subscribe to Icely puzzles sitting around being rotated, and notably rotated underneath this. So this doesn't change. So that means we can change the secondary clue to this. So is it a synonym to subscribe? Or maybe it's the reverse meaning of to? Sure is a long word if that's the case. Is it maybe a super category of me? Or Finally, is it a subcategory of puzzles? Okay, well, hopefully when you're thinking about that, you can watch my blind, like, actual first reaction to seeing this. So this is a recording of me playing an in-progress version that Souvey+ sent, and I also do solve the puzzle in that video. Swords, subscribe. Okay, so let's see. Oh, two. This goes so well. I thought you would have to look around to see them all, but the fact that if we get stuck here, that's not good. Okay, but yeah, I love that. I love that you have to roll the eyes, and it's the more natural way to see it instead of like looking around the thing. I expected you would have to do swords. This alternates the blue correctly, and it's a larger word, of course. Crosswords? 4. No. It's going to be crosswords on puzzles. It's great. Okay. Install chess fight improved. That's from the game, by the way. I didn't do that. I do like the joke that this block is not actually naturally blue. It's red, but actually the eye is just looking at it all the time. Anyway, advanced. And here we have ice height, which is a white middle. It is it's a white middle here. But clearly, ice height does not fit in that space as a middle. And actually, the people probably won't even recognize this as a middle, because from this angle, it kind of looks like a top. And okay, so there's some people who definitely won't recognize this as a middle, but oh well, what can you do? That's why I had to start off by saying, yes, it's a middle. And so we have this that's a roll eyes. It rotates this entire thing. And see, now it's a white top. And eyesight, same pronunciation. And notably, you do that and the puzzle unsolves itself, so you need to do it from here. Yeah. You also might notice a big word on the wall. Advanced. Right, so install chess battle advanced. And we have a right, which I can rotate. So greens are about environmental things, and that means we're looking for an environmental word. So here we have battle, but battle doesn't actually fit there. Chess doesn't fit there. Install doesn't fit. Why am I jittering so hard? And advanced. So out of all of them, only works. The next room. Well, hold on. We have this roll eyes, so it's a nice little shortcut back. But yes, here we have this chainsaw, which goes to a very nonsensical chain. So, like, those don't make any sense. Like, this is a way to do stuff after other stuff, but none of these actually really make sense as a chain, so we have to rotate it away. So, after we've done that, now we can solve it, and it happens to color another block, but that really doesn't matter for here. Now, there's also another puzzle nearby. Flower color. It's blue right now, but it doesn't work. And so, how do we get that to work? Well, something needs to turn that blue into a red. So, let's look at this again. Of course, now, because it went into the chain, it stopped working, because, it doesn't make sense there. What we need to do is rotate that against the wall, then solve it through the block, which paints this, this inverts this one, and now the flower is red. So there you go. Now we have here skating. So we're looking for a super category of skating. Hard to imagine such a thing, honestly. But we also have this thing, which, by context, you have to use the meme. And this is a sliding thing. You could put that, and now it, double chains into 2 browns. But, yeah, it also can change into a magenta, which is a subcategory instead. So here's another interesting thing. So on the side, there is a 3-letter thing, and what that means is that the answer for skating is 3 letters long, which is actually a little weird if you think about it, because it says it's 5 letters long. So to make sense of that, you'll have to realize that, in fact, it does chain afterwards. So we need to rotate it there. And now we have a chain going from We're chaining magenta bottom, which is a subcategory, but then doing a brown bottom, which is a cause effect to what happens after it. Okay, so what's a type of skating that's 3 letters long? Why don't you go look at my channel name? It's the first step is ice, because ice skating is the thing, and that's a subtype of ice, subtype of skating. So the first step is ice, and then after the brown bottom, what happens like to ice after time? So ice turns into water after enough time. It's like what happens further in time. Brown is all about time. So there we go. So after that, we also have the access to this up here. Bunch of stuff. We got Iceland, this Iceland, Army Pupil, which is another is just a checkered block. Very suspicious checkered block. Not valid under rules of the contest. Incredibly, and this time it is a blue middle that's impossible because it's going to a lower letter thing. And then a cream us. Well, let's start with this. This is a black bottom and a brown bottom on the other side, which actually doesn't really make much sense. That would mean you have to split the word into 2 different parts, like one of them referring to like eyes, for example, the other referring to land. And I guess we come up with stuff, even though it's very weird to think, like, what's the opposite of a T, for instance? And the opposite of highs. I guess, like, T-buys or something. Well, let's roll the eyes and see what happens. So, in this configuration, this has actually been changed around. So now we have a checkerboard, and a checkerboard in black, of course, it means reverse. We are reversing cause and effect here when it's checkerboard, which means we combine the functions of the 2 colors involved. Now, this means what came before Iceland? What came before Iceland? And what came before this? Well, it's come on, it's the meme. You have to appreciate the meme, right? Like it's all over the place. This and the walls of this. It's the map. All this nonsense started from Greenland, and that's fired a beam. Now that beam doesn't target anything, but that actually should be very suspicious to you. Because this was the wrong way to solve the puzzle. We actually can rotate both halves like that, and now we solve it on this side. So then the beam is pointing here, and now it looks so cursed, by the way, just because, like, of course, you can see the colors through the beam, and it still looks cursed from this side. It's like you have to look at it from like here to get the correct angle to look at this puzzle from and make it make sense. But now you can see what this puzzle actually is. It's a blue bottom on this side and a red bottom on the other side. So what that means is, like, you split the words and you're looking for a add to the army and remove from a pupil. Wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. If you go back here, you'll see the lengths of these. Army, pupil. So the pupil side goes to a 3-letter word. The army side goes to a 7-letter word. Specifically that pupil, what's part of a pupil that's 3 letters? Or more specifically, isn't it weird that this has been about eyes all the freaking time? But actually the transformation from pupil to eye, that's not a red. That's a blue that transforms pupil into eye, because we add to a pupil to get to an eye. So this is still wrong. Yeah, it's still wrong. So we're going to need to replace this, which is going to cause it unsolved. But at least we have something pointing to that now. And unfortunately, the answer panel is kind of getting... Okay, here it is. So Greenland. And now this is correct. And look, it even looks correct when you stand here, which is very nice. All right, so now pupil goes to eye. And what's inside an army that's 7 letters on? It's also a phrase. Now, this is cool. I of course, Souvey+My made this. It's a great one. And I didn't have trouble, but I know some people had trouble. It starts with P, if you're curious. The answer is private eye. So there we go. So we only have 2 puzzles left. These are these ones. Cherish and Incredibly. Blue will not work. Clearly blue is not going to work. And we can also roll the eyes to change it. But it's really pointless unless we have a way to turn this into a different color, aka red. You'll also notice there's a suspicious glass right underneath here. I believe this might also have been the same place where the glass was in the original Greenland, so it's just a nice little callback. So if you go in this room, So that is unsolved the ice type panel, which is, you know, unsatisfying, but hey, at least that one's red now. However, because of that, the door to the next area has been locked. Well, it's very fortunate we have a shortcut door that we opened, right? So now, unfortunately, that's also unsolved the advanced, because it had to look there to be able to see the word advanced, and now it's just a door. But look, now we at least have this cherish, and us over here, by the way. So, it's a 5-letter word, remove letters from cherish. You know, I just realized that I don't even mention Chris Souvey+My's first name in the video. It was only on screen for like 3 goddamn seconds with the flashlight comment. But anyway, yes, it's Chris. Does anyone know how to pronounce Chris's last name? And then, of course, the opposite, us, is... There we go. Now, very important thing about this. You definitely need to solve all the puzzles, because, I mean... Look at the countdown, 2. So even though it was just at 2, because we, like, didn't solve these puzzles, but because we had to unsolve 2 puzzles down there, that countdown is back to 2. Also, you get to see the cursed final panel right there. Yeah. Anyway, so, like, in fact, I'll even do it for the video's sake, like, because I feel like some people have actually, like, failed in this trollish way. So, you do that, like, thinking you can go back and solve all these puzzles, but of course, this is unsolved itself, because it's no longer a red. And of course, this was powering this one, so that one also got unsolved. So what we need to do now is roll the eyes here, so now we have the eyes facing each other, permanently keeping them on. And yeah, now we can go back here, roll the eyes back down, and of course, those will stay red because those are turning each other on. And fix that one, and resolve this one. Okay, so now this is unlocked. And what we have is... Yeah, the entire Greenland house completely rotated, connected to the eyes. Very nice. So now, any mansion whale. Very important here is this thing. So, you can see that when, like, this can be changed to have all 3 of the slices face it. So now we have any mansion whale being black, magenta, red instead of white, lime, red. So that's, like, very satisfying in that, you know, every color pair has been used in this puzzle. Again, I don't need to put anything. You should know every mechanic by this point. But yes, we have the ability to, like, rotate that. So now that's become a white. Rotate that away, that's a lime, and rotate that away, and that's a blue. So, what's the answer here? So, first of all, any, it's an achievement, so it starts with the. And the and any. Now, any is like anything, but the is a specific thing. So, we're going to change this one to black. So now we have the, but what's the next one? The mansion, and this is, the next word is 5 letters long. The next word is like 7 letters long. Now, what comes to mind first when it comes to, like, the categories of a mansion? Now, I know there's such a thing as a McMansion, where the mansion looks ugly as hell, but no. That's, the mansion is a type of house, so it's a super category, and this should stay as a line. So it's the house something. But what is something? Like, wonder if, this is a thematically relevant meme that's going on here. Okay, so I'll give you the hints that the thing that whale solves to starts with an F. So the answer is we have to rotate this one. Okay, so now we get the house flipper, because a flipper is part of a whale. And there we go. That is Souvey+My, and that is this entire... This just... I am very, very proud of this creation. So I was really in the most favored position anyone wants to be, where I just get to theory craft about fun ideas, and then Souvey implements so much of the stuff for me. I'd say most of the puzzles here were actually by Souvey, with only, like, with some help in some various aspects, and pretty much almost all the, like, the best things, we just put them all in and made it fit the, like, the 25 puzzle count. The final puzzle and the splitting into 3 slices were were my idea, but again, like, the majority of this was programmed and, like, puzzle designed by Souvey. Only some of the ideas didn't make the cut. Like, one of them that I kind of wish that made a cut was, like, the fact that, like, when you're inside one of these filters, everything looks, you know, opposite. And I thought it would be funny if, like, oh, if you did this, wouldn't it be great if you were permanently stuck in this mode until you could do something to, like, change it? And there ultimately wasn't enough room to make it work. And also, like, the limited space also meant there was no, like, parkour section where you had to, like, like, mess with stuff on a rotating, you know, platform and not have to rotate yourself. But yeah, that's Souvey+My. I am finally glad that we get to show this off in a video. There's plenty more other cursed creations by others of this map. Like, I don't even know what this one is. This place is also really cool. Look, it feels to be like a movie theater somehow with the color scheme. And there's just custom cursed looking eyes. I love the ice. Also, this is cursed as hell. I think the creator of this room came up with Eyes Lie Puzzles, which is a great corruption of my name. He came up with this stupid room where, like you can solve puzzles in wrong ways with custom code. Yes. Yellow, ugly answers with cursed sound. This is, in fact, this is not the first place I discovered this, and so I got jump scared by the yellow solve in a different map. No, surprisingly. What? Anyway, good night.